Hello everyone, it is Erin Photo here, and I am here to react to your unpopular bullet journal opinions. I have recently, there's a cat walking in. So somewhat recently I put together I think it was like 8 unpopular bullet journal opinions or something to that effect. I don't know. It was a video I posted recently. So I thought it would be fun to react to some of your unpopular bullet journal opinions. And I asked you guys on Instagram what those were. And so I'm going to go through and kind of give my thoughts, I guess, on your unpopular bullet journal opinions. So the first one is, it doesn't make people more productive, just more organized. I agree and disagree. It depends on how you bullet journal, I think, and what the purpose of your bullet journaling is. For me personally, I feel like during the week, my bullet journal makes me extremely productive. If I start it right in the morning, I spend 10-15 minutes thinking about my day, all the things. Now he wants to go out. Okay, instead of opening and closing continuously, I'm just gonna leave it cracked for him. So I would say that I spend about 15 minutes in the morning thinking about what needs to get done and how I need to prioritize those things. And when I do that, it does make me more productive. If I use time blocking, that tends to make me more productive. So I guess it depends on how you're using your bullet journal and what you're trying to get out of it. A bullet journal doesn't always need to be the most productive thing. If at the end of the day, your goal is to be organized and to organize your thoughts, that in turn will make you more productive as well. So those are my thoughts on that. I don't find mood trackers helpful. Full page habit trackers can end up being unproductive. That I'll agree with. I don't think mood trackers in themselves are helpful. I think that if you do a mood tracker with maybe doing a 1 line a day or a daily summary, that can be really helpful. And then full page habit trackers can end up being unproductive. I'll agree with that. And I often, especially during the pandemic, struggle with my daily habit trackers. Using a ruler to draw lines isn't overrated. You know, to each their own, and I guess it depends on what type of theme you're doing. For me, sometimes I really enjoy not needing a ruler, and particularly when I'm using something like acrylographs or something like that, or any sort of paint pen or a jelly roll pen. I don't like using rulers because it can smudge the lines. So I tend to find using a ruler to draw lines isn't overrated. So that means oh my God, there's negatives in there. Okay, my thoughts are rulers sometimes don't work depending on the type of pen you're using. So, and whatever theme, if you're doing a more floral inspired theme or something like that, maybe the lines don't make sense. Cover pages are pointless. For me, I like to do cover pages every now and again. A lot of times I don't do cover pages. I'll do my calendar first or something like that. I guess it's not pointless if you're doing it for fun, because if you're doing it for fun and you like to break up your pages, and I know a lot of people washi tape the side of their cover pages so that they can mark where a new month begins, and they don't want to do that on a page that is useful, like a habit tracker page or a weekly page or something like that. So I mean, I guess they're theoretically pointless, but if you have fun and it makes you feel good and maybe it's a form of self-care, then it's not pointless, because it depends on what your point is. from a productive standpoint, yeah, it's not a means to be productive, but it can help you mark your pages and mark your months and things like that. I don't get painting in a bullet journal. Takes each page forever to dry before moving to the next page. Sure. For me, when I'm setting up and when I'm painting in my bullet journal, for example, one of the few mediums that works in a blackout planner is paint. So, if it takes longer for the page to dry, I tend to do a lot of my monthly setups over the course of several days. So for me, it doesn't matter if it takes a long time to dry because I'm not doing it all at once. The next one is I don't have monthly themes, and I know a lot of people that don't do monthly themes, actually, especially if you are more of a minimalist. Maybe the theme isn't so important. I know people that have like a loose theme where they like try to use the same color, but most people do monthly themes, so that it's not just for productivity, no to-do lists. For me, again, because bullet journaling is very specific to every single person, because there's like the original bullet journaling method, but there's also this hybrid planning system that people have developed. For me, my bullet journal isn't just for productivity, for sure. I really enjoy using it as a self-care tool. I really enjoy using it as a way to have an excuse to work on my art. One of the things that I've always struggled with is if I'm putting art in my bullet journal, the reason I typically do that is because it helps me return to my bullet journal. If I just see a long list of to-dos, that really makes me struggle internally about like returning to my bullet journal. So I like to have some art, things like that, because then it's not just a giant to-do list, which makes me personally feel discouraged. So yeah, I agree that it's not just for productivity or to-do lists. It can be a hybrid of whatever you need it to be. It's not for everyone. 100% agree. 100% agree. I have talked about this over, I don't know, I think actually since I started this channel, that bullet journaling can fit everyone if they want it to fit. But some people don't want to bullet journal. Some people, if they don't have time to bullet journal, but they're like me and they can't just look at giant to-do lists, then bullet journaling may not be for you. Maybe sticker planning or something like that is better for you, because if you don't have time to work on your art, or if you don't like a giant to-do list, which is what the minimalist bullet journal feels like to me personally, then it's just not for everyone. The next one is habit trackers are overrated. I kind of already discussed that. It's painful to make it pretty. I will disagree there, because I think there's a ton of different ways to make it pretty that aren't painful. Scrapbooking paper, for example. I did that whole scrapbook mountains theme back in September of 2020, and that was the easiest theme I've ever done. I literally took scrapbook paper and I went like this and I made a mountain out of it. So that was so easy, but it was very pretty, and it's actually one of my favorite themes. Stickers, if you like stickers, if you like stamping, there's a lot of different ways to make it pretty that isn't painful. But I highly recommend scrapbook paper if you are because all you have to do is tape it in. A little bit of Tombow permanent adhesive roller tape, and you're good to go. The next one is YouTube's obsessed with how it looks and almost never mentions how well each spread works. I'll agree and disagree with that. YouTube is obsessed with that, but I think that's because those are two separate videos. There are times where I go back and I talk about how something worked versus something else, or on my next Plan With Me video, I'll make changes because of how it didn't work in the previous month. For example, habit trackers have been a pain in the ass for me ever since the pandemic started. So I keep trying to redo them and do them in different ways. I haven't found a way that really works, but I've talked about it in another Plan With Me video. So when I'm putting out inspiration for a monthly video, it's not because of how I know it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, because I haven't used it yet. You know what I mean? So a lot of the videos that you see on YouTube are setup videos. So you can't know how they work until you actually dig into the spread. There's a lot of times where I do the same thing over and over again because I found that works. So that's kind of the way to know how well each spread works for you. And again, it's hard to talk about how well each spread works because it's going to be individualized. Monthly habit trackers work for some people. Weekly habit trackers work for other people. It's how your brain is wired sometimes. Some people try too hard to be fancy. Calm down. I'll agree with that. I think that a lot of people try to be fancy for the reasons of getting popular on Instagram or getting popular in YouTube. I am guilty of that. I've done that before. I feel like now I am comfortable enough in my own skin that I don't have to try to be fancy. Sometimes I do like spending a little bit of extra time with my spreads, but I think people need to internalize why they're doing the fanciness. Because fancy to some people is a form of self-care if you're talking about painting or something like that. I talk about Haley all the time. I know for a fact that her art is a form of self-care for her. So that may be fancy, but it's not to her. You know what I mean? So it depends on why you're doing it. Hey everyone, it is future Erin from the editing office, and I realized this video was going really long, so I decided to cut it up into 2 different videos. So if you have some unpopular bullet journaling opinions that you want included in the next video, please let me know in the comments down below, because I will be splitting it up into 2. So I'm really excited for that, and I will see you next time. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that kind of jazz, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.